Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So this is going to be a first of many that is going to come. I'm kicking off my very first YouTube video, as you guys are pretty much watching at the moment. So this is something that has been a while in the makes for me, and I'm kind of super excited to put this all together. Today is going to be more of a feel me, come follow me for my day, what I get up to, what I do for work. I'll be explaining a lot of questions, as I had a Q&A box a while ago, so I'll be answering all of those so you can get to know me and pretty much take you through of a day in my life and what I do for training and breaking all down, so you can kind of unlock and get to know me as a human, because I get a lot of questions as I'm a strength conditioning coach, content creator, working at a gym, a bit of everything at the moment, as we are trying to figure out life, and that is completely fine. I'm running my own business as well, so this is the fun part that I get to create online and just expose and show the real me. So at the moment I'm going to be making my breakfast. This is a very traditional breakfast that I always make. It is just so simple, easy, and just kind of get along, and then we'll be answering a couple of your questions and then going from there. So yeah, so my breakfast, it is pretty standard. It is a Chobani Greek yogurt. It is 150 grams because I like to weigh every single one of my food. So a bit of back history. I used to do bodybuilding when I was, I would say 18, 19. I did that for about 2 years. I did a 2-year prep. Because before that I did swimming, so before that I was like eating like a shit ton. Then I stepped into bodybuilding, where this was more of a I'm learning to speak and do things at the same time because I'm not very good at multitasking, but we're gonna go along with this. So I pretty much stemmed from swimming, where I was eating a shit ton and just really loved the physique some bodybuilders had and just the understanding of the muscle development. So I went down that route, and then I realized halfway through my prep that I really love food, and taking away my food made me really angry. So obviously pulling through with that goal of stepping on stage, kind of had to bite the finger, bite the bullets, and still compete on stage, and realizing that I love food that much that it was coming to the cost of my mood, which a lot of people probably know that if you take my food away from me, I'm not a very happy gal. A lot of my old previous workplace dealt with that, but anyway, so we stepped in that route, and I've been tracking my food ever since, and I think it's the best thing that is around, because I know how my mood is feeling, my energy, my training's going, because it's all stemmed to like my food intake, because you gotta fuel a car, right, with petrol, and if you can't fuel a car with petrol, it's not going to run efficiently. And that's pretty much how I think of like the human body, is how it's going to run. So that is why I'm very big on my training and just very big at pushing boundaries on my physical training, because I think it's cool the way the human body works. It's like a maze. You don't know what's going to work one day and not, and it's all mental. So that is also why I do really enjoy my training at the moment. But anyway, before I go through all that, I don't even know what I've done. I am 27 years old. My birthday is on December 26th. I had this conversation last night that technically I'm a Jesus plus one, because my date of birth is very close to, oh my god, Christmas. So yeah, but funny story enough, with my mates, I celebrate my birthday November 26th. So I kind of gave myself 2 birthdays, because one birthday is not enough, and all of my friends were always away around Christmas, so it never was really a great time to be celebrating by myself, especially with my parents. And like, there's only so much like you can kind of do on Christmas or Boxing Day apart from go shopping and spend money. So I came up with November 26th. So I don't know if that's a genius idea or not, but we got 2 for the 1. I need honey. So what it consists of was honey, Cocoa Pops oat. If you haven't had this is going to be a game changer. It's not like Cocoa Pops where it gets soggy. These are crispy, crunchy, and also chocolatey. I have Greek yogurt and then pure creatine because I don't like drinking powder, and this is probably the best way to do it. So this is my breakfast. It's not the prettiest, but it gets the job done because today we're training. I've got a heavy clean day. May add some gymnastics in there, and then I've got a conditioning block, which is pretty gross. So my training session goes for about 3 hours. At the moment, I've just stemmed into CrossFit training at the moment because I work at a CrossFit gym, and I think it's so fascinating the way the human body works on building the engine, building strength, while doing some gymnastics component as well. So the blend of all that in the program just full fascinates me because I used to die so fucking bad that as a pure weightlifter you have no cardio, you have only strength but no strength endurance. So this is the way I've been stepping in, and I'm currently getting coached by CrossFit Dignus by Costa. He's a fucking legend, but fucking I have no words for mans, but just only good words. But this workout's fucking scare me on a daily basis, which is, I don't know if it's a good thing or a psychotic thing, but it's here for the ride. It's how we built this physique, but it's also so good to see like how to push boundaries every time because yeah, I thought I was a bitch some days, and I get through the session and I'm like, okay, what the fuck? And then I show someone else my program and they're like, girl, did you do that? And I'm like, yeah, that's what it says written on my program. So I'm going to get it done, and it is very cooked, but it's very enjoyable at the same time. So I'm gonna eat my breakfast because I don't like talking and eating. It's one of my icks. And I will chat to you very soon about more Q&As. Something that probably isn't common knowledge. I'm originally based in WA. That is my hometown and where my family is. So I'm originally from Western Australia. So pretty much moved down from Western Australia about 2 years ago. So the reason why I moved down is ever since I was 16, I'm pretty sure I've always wanted to move interstate. Brisbane was my heart and soul, God knows why, or Gold Coast, but I happened to shop for Sydney, the most expensive city in Australia. I remember, so I was shooting my shot for Brisbane because they had these really good donuts there. It's called like New Dots. I don't know where it is. It's literally on the Brisbane River. I just know where the exact location is. It's like right where the walkway is on Brisbane, near the convention center, and it's right there in the corner. There is such a good cafe that you can literally see the river, walk there, do a little bit of a morning walk, get a coffee, grab a donut, and they are literally the one place that I would like eat every day. So I'll put that link up here and like we'll snip it of the photos, but that I think that was the reason why I really wanted to move to Gold Coast or in Queensland, because of those donuts. I haven't seen them here in Sydney, and I definitely think it's just a small business thing over there. But yeah, fun fact, that would have definitely been like one of the main things. So yeah, your gal's a big foodie, so that's something like you guys are kind of learning along the way. Once I finished my bachelor, I end up just applying for like everything under the sun, to try to get me out of WA, because I pretty much succeeded in everything I wanted to do there. Worked at every sporting team alive. Wasn't where I wanted to be mentally, so I knew I always wanted to start like a new life, like a new chapter in another state, because I think it's pretty cool just if you can drop and just relocate. So we did that. Ended up shooting for Sydney, just happened by fluke. Very grateful for that. I literally took anything that came my way, and very grateful for that opportunity. Massive lessons along the way, but also the biggest one was that I can pack my life up in under 2 weeks while traveling with a team and relocate, find a house, get my car across and pack my whole house into a box. So that was pretty hectic, but we somehow made it work. I remember like when I moved over here, took the last flight possible out of WA. It was like a red-eye flight. So those of you who don't know, a red-eye flight is like you leave at midnight, so then you can arrive in the morning, and obviously your eyes are red because it's just like time zone, you're flying in the night and you're still having to wake up and go about your day because you land at like 6 in the morning when technically like there's no point going, but it's dead. So I did that and then went straight to work that day. So pretty much had like no sleep for like 24 hours and kicked off my day in Sydney. So that was pretty cool. Very tiring, I would not recommend, but yeah, so that is how I got myself to Sydney. Constantly learning, so that's something that always like stuck with me, of just meeting people and learning, and that's what I realized I'm very good at, because you probably will notice I would just ramble and check out one thing then go into something else and like, oh, it's a mess. So anyway, I'm going to take you through pre-workout done, BCAA as well, training is here. We're going to get done and I'm going to answer a couple questions more once we get to it. So I think I knuckled out 2 questions here. My attention span is a bit of a goldfish at times, so I'm going to have a look at my laptop, write them down, and we will go. So come training with me. Oh, so this is my little housemate's dog. Her name is Rosie. She's the cutest bean alive. Aren't you? Poor? Oh, adorable. So this is one of the gyms that I work at. It's 168 Marrickville, and the benefit of working at a gym is I get this whole space to myself, but it is a very lonely training by yourself. So I always try to rope in a couple of the members, staff, coaches. So yeah, but no one is really game to get that whole bad boy done. So generally starts with the primer, then we go into the main set, accessories, and then this is what that you wanna see held. So that's what we're in for today. Warmed up shoulders, you don't really need to see that because that's all on my Instagram on how I prep and everything, and I feel like YouTube just doesn't really need to see all that. If you do, we can add in a little comments and I can see if I can do like a get ready with me or warm up before I do my main set. So that is pretty much the whole gist of the gym. But how nice is that outside? And also, I don't know if you see it, there's ice cream right across the road. And if you really want, there's a pub there, but I would always an ice cream gal. So that's me now when it's getting hot. I will be there. Tell me a whole page. Oh, that doesn't fucking scare you. Fuck. It's fine. I love this. It's completely fine. We will... I just can't think about it. All right, let's go. I'm going to talk you through what we're currently doing. I'm doing 1 clean pull, 1 power clean, and then 1 hang clean. So I've had to build up to 6 sets of like a heavy single, heavy complex. So it's 1 plus 1 plus 1. I'm currently, this is my second last one. I've got 75 and the goal is to get 80, 78, 80. I reckon we got 80 in the bag. We've gone 5 kilo jumps each time. So every 2 minutes I'm having a rest. So this is my kind of talk through process. So loaded up the bar, 75. Gonna take this mic out because I actually do need to hit this set, and let's see how we go. So like while I'm resting, also fun fact, my body weight currently sits around like 63. So all of my weight percentages are always going to be a lot higher than my body weight, which is fucking hard. So currently now I'm going to go into a clean pull, so clean pull, and then a hang power clean, and that is going to be at 66. And then everything else is going to be above 75, 80. So cleans are my favorite, and let's see how we go with these. This is a new block as well, so currently excited. I feel fresh. I'm locked in. Music's pumping, and now let's go. So it's on a time base, so I'm not going to record this one because I need to actually lock into this one. So every 2 minutes on the minute, it's a 2 + 2 at 66. So let's go. So, change of outfit because, fun fact, I actually genuinely, because I work in a gym, I genuinely hate sweating. So I will avoid all costs of having to be dripping or in actually like wet clothes from working out. So I will always change halfway through if I'm doing accessories. Cleans is always easier if I'm doing any weightlifting with like leggings, so it doesn't feel like it's like scraping on my legs. So now since I got accessories, I can do a couple Q&As. We'll just sat down. So got seated box jumps now, more explosive power just to wrap up the session. Then I've got push jerks, some overhead stuff, and then we'll go into the WOD. So what is my background? So my background is obviously Australian citizen, but my dad's from Switzerland and my mum is from Malaysia. So Swiss Malay. My parents met while traveling, so it's pretty cool. I think that's just why I've got a travel bug. So they relocated to Western Australia, which is where I am born, and that is the story, and that is my nationality. So a bit of a mix. I sometimes get New Zealand. I don't know why. I get I sometimes speak a bit rogue, but it is what it is. I got Portuguese. What else do I sometimes get? Cambodian, Euro or Asian is sometimes the mix. So yeah, that is, I'm trying to think of like what I generally get called, but that is it. Swiss Malay. I am 5'1", so 157.5, because as boys will say, every inch counts, so every centimeter counts if you're short. I actually am a brunette by heart. I went ombre or blonde in the last 4 years. Yeah, 4 or 5 years. I don't know. I went blonde because I was sick of my dark features just being like so dark, and I couldn't really like put a lot of colors together. I don't know why. That generally was just my thought. And then I had a bad breakup and I was like, I just want to change everything. So that was the reason why I did that ages ago. And now I am loving the blonde life. I feel like, I don't know, it pops my facial features a lot more. That is generally like what I'm thinking, is why I went blonde. Now I don't look back. Like, yes, it's a bit of a punish to go back every 8 to 10 weeks. My hairdressers are amazing. Even though I spend like 5 to 6 hours there, that's like not all the time. It's like every once in a while. I just can prepare and bring on my work there, so that's the only pretty cool part. But yeah. Okay, this is like well above my height. Hips are here, so that's like 60 centimeters I'm jumping. I think 5'1", not bad. Was one fuck session. I didn't finish it all because it is too hot, so I've got coaching tonight. So the plan is go home, shower, eat food, then I am going to get some stuff done on my work because I feel like that's been at the front of my brain for the back end of the session. I'm tired, I'm hungry. So once I'm refueled, I'm gonna come back in tonight, hit the rest of my WOD, hit the rest of my push jerk while I'm actually full and fed and can actually think, because I feel bad if I don't hit my numbers and I just feel fatigued, and I know it's just due to lack of food because I know like what my body needs, and all I've been surviving on is breakfast, and now it's like well past midday and about time I have lunch, so it does make sense of why I feel really flat. I've had snacks and stuff like that, so Let's go home, recoup, reset, get my voice ready to yell and get on with my new build program that's currently going on at 168, which I'm super excited. So let's go get ready, get prepped, and we're gonna go back in round 2, and it's gonna be another late gym session, but I would rather to be in the cool than sweating it out in the heat, because right now it's like 30 plus degrees and it is so gross. So I'm going home. Training's done, so plan now is to munch this down. I've just heated up leftovers from dinner. We've got some lean beef patties, which I pre-made because I was really lazy. Half a pita, which I've already tracked from last night, and salad, and I just gotta add some sauce to that, so that will be my lunch. I am the worst person when it comes to lunch. I will pretty much just snack, and I like to have a big breakfast and a huge dinner because I love being full at nights and having like heaps of snacks. So I will probably be making pancakes and something else for protein wise. So I will have a look and figure out what we're gonna be having for dinner, but I will just always like plug and play into my fitness pal. So that's how I kind of gym track this, and back on my laptop. So I'll probably sit outside and get that away because I've got a bunch of emails to get through. Finalize a couple of things. I've got some media that I need to film, so I need to script a couple of stuff. So that will be me this afternoon, and then coaching is from 5 o'clock till 7, and then straight back to the gym, another gym, and finish off my session. So that is it. Nothing exciting for the rest today, so let me munch this down again. And I thought I'd show you this really cute thing. This is what I love to do with Rosie when I'm eating all my salads. So she loves cucumbers. And have a look at this. Rosie, sit. Rosie, spin. Paw. Paw. Boop. 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 Oh, you're a cutie. There we go. And that is our little potty trick. Hey guys, so admin's all done, my training's done, I had food, so now I'm pretty much going to go through a couple of rest of my questions that I've got here, and let's get started. So for those that are junior coaches that are wanting to get into more coaching, the first thing I always do is like start networking to those places that you are wanting to go into. Get to know like what the facility is like what you need to do, what qualifications you actually need, because that's always the biggest thing of like how to get there. Then you can kind of, I always say, find what your goal is and work backwards from it, because it's so much easier to plan instead of making a plan and something fucks up and you don't know how to fix it, as long as you kind of see that end goal there. So network, put yourself in different shoes and environments. This doesn't always have to lead to coaching. This can lead to like absolutely anything you want. So just network. People who knows what's going to get you places. So networking with so many different people, understanding their outcomes, know their networks, know their mentors, continue learning. Like being eager to learn is massive nowadays. Everyone wants quick fixes and shortcuts. So I think like just being open, vulnerable, and getting to learn through that aspect there of how, and continuously learning, like I think this is so much bigger and better on doing stuff like that. And just email a bunch of people. The worst you can get is a no, and then you move on and continue to the next thing. So this is my first piece of advice. Interning, yes, it sucks at the time because you are not getting paid for your hours, but you're getting paid in knowledge. And that is something you can't take away from someone, and that's something that I still to this very day am so big on, because knowledge is power, and that can kind of get you in the doors a lot better if you know and you've had more experience than a piece of paper. How do I stay motivated all the time? That definitely, I'm never motivated all the time. I'm just very disciplined. I'm very strict on my routines that I have. So I've realized now, since working on my own business and on myself for the past year, that I work best at night. So during the day, I get so distracted on everything, anything. My mood and energy is very low. And then once the sun goes down, it's like I'm like tunnel vision and getting stuff done. So
understanding like what works for you and what doesn't, obviously it helps, but if you can't be in that position, you just got to make small things that make it work, like having smaller breaks during the day, concentrating on one particular task, setting a to-do list, whatever your actual goals is, you got to stay by them. Because I think ever since stepping on board here in Sydney, it's been so fulfilling. Like I've ticked all my goals in 6 months. So you don't know how important it is to write your goals down and actually see it, because once I ticked it off, I was like, fuck, I'm done. My year's done. I don't know what else to do. So that's happened twice. It's been very rewarding and I'm very grateful that has happened. But it's also a very surreal moment because you don't know how to bounce back from it, because you think at the start of the year, once you set your goals down, that it could be a very hard challenge to do. But in reality, once you got the ball rolling, the ball rolls either really fast or really slow, but that's up to you. So it kind of dictates on how that's going to go. So that's something that I'm very big on, like just write your goals out at the start of the year. And I've figured it out now that like sometimes your goals change, and as of recently I had goals at the start of the year that I wrote down and now they don't even align and value to me, and I had to re-scrap that and write that all down. And I'm so grateful that I've got to write them down and actually have a plan in action now that I want to do and actually am motivated for, because I used to look at my goal board and be like, oh nah, it's fine. But now I've kind of restructured, got a better plan. My routine is slowly coming together. I'm building it and finding what works, and actually like putting to action on the calendar and visually seeing it has made it more comfortable, and make sure like, okay, no, like it's like clockwork. Like I got to get this done. Like if I don't do this, then this is what's going to happen. And it's just like, it's either a sacrifice now or it's going to bite you in the ass later on. What's it like living away from family and friends? As I touched on at the start, this is something that's been a learning process at the start. So I've now recently realized that I need us constantly traveling back to Perth, and I do have the flexibility of that. So the goal is every 2 or 3 months to touch base back in, because now my gym and my coaches are based there. And it's nice and refreshing because now I don't have to tell anyone that I'm going back, and I can just dip away from Sydney. It's so fine. Go in there, spend time with like my family. My relationship with my parents have gotten a lot stronger since being away. Like communication's been pretty sick. So I can dip in, stay with them, come home to cooked food, because that is the nicest thing once you live away from them and you're living by yourself. Cooking foods is the hardest thing, because I live on smoothies and the same food pretty much all the time because I'm so lazy during the day. So it's nice. I kind of feel like I can kind of go MIA back in Perth without telling people I'm there, apart from my tight mates, and then link up. But also a lot of my mates do FIFO, so that's fly in, fly out. So got to check-ins when the swings are in, and then we dip back, and then we spend the whole week just chatting shit and doing whatever the fun stuff we do. A little fun fact, I am a very big tomboy. I don't have many girlfriends because I find it personally hard to communicate with girls. I don't know why. My language is always based around working, especially when my work was dealing with like, or working in a lot of like male dominated environments. I grew up with a lot of boys, especially in my street, just playing and like climbing trees, like fucking riding bikes and like just doing boy things. I don't know why. And then I never was really into heels, not really into dresses if I really need to dress up. Like makeup was something I had a little phase in, but now it's like the clean cut is just me at the moment. It's just so much easier. Time efficient is my massive thing I'm a pet peeve for, so making sure like I am very structured to my time, and if someone fucks up my time, I get so agitated. Like it's just like, ugh. So that's a little insight thing. Yeah, I didn't grow up with Barbies. I grew up with literally like cars, scooters, bikes, like everything outdoorsy and boy. That was me. I used to always have this like snapback hat that I used to wear. Skater shoes were my massive thing. My favorite colors was like black and pink, so like everything I wear was like grungy style. I don't know why, and I'm not pulling any photos back of that. So yeah, that was pretty much my childhood. I'm very tomboy. Now I've kind of like stemmed away from that. So yeah, that is a little fun fact about that. I'm gonna wrap that up from there. That is pretty much all the questions I'm gonna go through. I've done through my training today, done all the Q&As. We'll answer a couple more on the next thing, but this is my first episode, so I want to keep it short and sweet without boring your brains out. Like, subscribe, and hopefully see you very soon on the next video. Bye.